Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Am I audible?
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay. I believe I'm audible and my slides are visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just a second. Yeah. Good. So I hope you all did your CAT 2 exams well. Just I went through few answer sheets. It was a bit okay, but let me complete checking all your answer sheets by tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I will be completing the evaluation process. So the next module will be module number 7. So in this module, we are going to discuss about material requirement planning. So you will be learning about the objectives, the functions, the MRP system, the MRP logic, what is begin the logic behind MRP, then how information flow happens in an MRP, what is lot size and what is MRP resource planning for capacity requirement planning, CRP. We call it CRP, capacity requirement planning and bill of materials. So these are the things which we will be discussing in the module number 7. So what is this material requirement planning? It's very simple concept. As the name indicates, it's called as material requirement planning. As basic example, if you are planning to start a class, or say for example you are completed your class 12th and they are going to join VIT, or imagine it's the beginning of a new semester. So what you do, you will plan the items which are required for your classes, right? Basically what you do, at least you go to the shop, you buy a notebook, you buy a pen for the next for a new semester. At least we do this basic thing, right? We buy a notebook and we buy a pen, at least to have some notes or to write something newly. So that is called as material requirement. You're planning a notebook and you are buying a pen. This is a simple material requirement planning work. Say for example, again, in case of your home, what happens, like if there is a function, say for example next month or the month after, we are going to have Diwali, correct? So when we are going to celebrate Diwali, obviously your parents are going to buy new dresses, crackers, we buy sweets to distribute to our friends and relatives. So to make the sweets, you need some raw materials. So what your mother will do, or whoever is heading the family, what they will do, they prepare the grocery list and they will buy the product from the shop. Okay. So say for example some sugar is required, say because they are going to make more sweets, more sugar is required. Say for example your family is a big family and you require around 5 to 6 kg of sugar. Let's assume 5 kg of sugar you need extra than your regular consumption. So you are going to buy the, say Diwali, I don't know when, imagine Diwali is in November 12th or 10th. So you will be buying the 5 kg of sugar at least November 1st. After your parents get their salary, they will be going to the shop and they will be buying 5 kg of sugar extra. So this is called as material requirement planning. Requirement for what? To prepare the sweets. In say similar way, in a manufacturing organization, to manufacture a product, the raw material has to be bought from the supplier well in advance. Say for example, tomorrow if I'm going to make a product, I need the raw materials to reach my warehouse or to get accumulated in my inventory at least one day before the manufacturing of the product. Okay, say for example, you are going to manufacture 10 cars a day. Normally, when it comes to manufacturing, we buy 5 tires for a car, 4 tires for the automobile, for the car, and 1 tire as stepney. So 5 tires is required for 1 car. So if you're going to manufacture 10 cars, how many tires you require? How much? 50. You require 50 tires. Okay, so good. So when you require 50 tires, imagine that's a supplier. Say for example, that is going to be the Apollo. Apollo is going to supply you 50 tires to your company. This 50 tires, if you're telling him to supply by today, for today, for tomorrow's manufacturing activity, if you're suddenly ordering him, and today, only today morning, you're telling him to manufacture the 50 tires and deliver it to you tomorrow, then the Apollo will not be able to manufacture 50 tires as such, and he can't give you by tomorrow. So what you need to know, you need to give the order to Apollo tires at least 1 week or 2 weeks, depending upon their manufacturing capability. You will be giving them some order to manufacture the product and supply it to you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. So if you want to have your tires on Tuesday, and if the supplier will take 10 days to supply 50 tires, you have to order 10 days before now. Say for example, today's date is 19th. That means last 9th you should have ordered the product. Okay, so that's how we are going to take this. So 10 days before the manufacturing of the car, you should order 10 days before that particular product. Say for example, sometimes, let's get back to the household problem. Like if you want to distribute sweets on Diwali, say for example, you're going to distribute 100 kg of sweets to your friends and family. 100 kg of sweets cannot be prepared in a single day. What you will do is, you will order 10 days before to the sweet shop, the mitai wala. You will order 10 days before, and he will deliver on the day before the Diwali. So 10 days is their preparation period or delivery period. So depending upon that, you will be ordering 10 days, 100 kg 10 days before you should order. So that is the norms of the supplier, or that is the relationship between the supplier and the producer, and the manufacturer. So you should understand the loop here. So the supplier means he is going to supply either the raw material or a semi-finished component or a finished component to the OEM. So this MRP, whatever I am talking, is fully about the OEM. So this OEM is going to get the raw materials from the supplier, and the supplier will have a predetermined time to supply the X number of products to the OEM. Say for example, 10 products he can give it today. 100 products he needs at least 10 days of time to deliver by tomorrow or by today night for tomorrow's manufacturing. So you should understand the delivery time is there for the suppliers to the OEM. So whenever you are planning your product, you should consider the delivery period of each and every supplier, because when I say car, it's going to have multiple, n number of components. This n number of components will have n number of suppliers. So you should calculate the delivery time, or in how much time I can get the goods delivered to my warehouse or to my inventory to manufacture the car. So you should know the delivery time of this n suppliers. Only then the car can be manufactured. So that is how it works. So that is why material requirement planning plays a very, very important role. Say for example, if you are going to manufacture a water bottle, there is a body, there is a cap, only two components. So planning these two components, or getting it done, is very, very easy task. It can be done in a one company, in a one machine, it can be done. But Imagine if you are going to have a product which is having n number of like many number of components, more than 10 or more than 100. The complexity is there because 100 components means you will have 100 suppliers, or you may have some less than 100. I mean, some companies may supply two products. So depending upon the number of components and number of suppliers, the complexity will be there will be more. It will get more complex. Okay, so you should understand the complexity behind this. Okay, so now with this knowledge, okay, what happens is that Black and Decker is the first company which has introduced material requirement planning in 1964. So this is going to tell when I should order. Okay, so if you want to have, say now it's when now it's 10 o'clock, 10:20. So when my class ends, it's going to be like around 11 o'clock. And if you are planning to have your lunch by 12 o'clock, you will understand when to order. Okay, so if imagine your lunch you're going to order by Swiggy or Zomato. If you want to have your lunch sharp by 12 o'clock, you know that you should order at 11:15 or 11:30. So when to order, so this MRP is going to tell you when to order to have the product in your hand at the right time when you require. So when to order, how much to order, how to order. So all these things will be taken care by this material requirement planning. In future, if you're going to focus on supply chain management, or if you're going to work on inventory in inventory problems or scheduling activities, the fundamental thing you should understand is material requirement planning. Okay, so I'll ask you a general question. Okay, imagine you want to have some 5 notebooks. Okay, you please answer this question. You can unmute yourself and you can answer this question. You want 5 notebooks for this semester, and you find that already there are some 2 notebooks left with you, which is unused from the last semester. So how much notebooks you will buy? Three. Why? Why you will buy only 3 notebooks? Your requirement is 5, but you will buy only 3 notebooks. Why? Why? Anyone? Others can unmute yourself. Yeah, all okay. You can mute yourself. I got. So, like the thing is that like because already you had 2 notebooks, only 5 was the requirement. So 5 minus 2, you are going to buy only 3 notebooks. Okay, so that is you have some inventory of 2 notebooks. Your requirement was 5. So what you did, requirement minus the inventory what you had, so it comes 3. So this is how the inventory. So this is how the MRP is going to work. We will slowly build on this concept, and we will try to understand what are the inputs and what are the outputs of any MRP. Okay, how this MRP works? See, there are 2 stages of MRP. One is called as MRP1, or generally we call as MRP. The second one we call as MRP2. And okay, what is MRP now? MRP is material requirement planning. If you're only planning for your materials which is required to manufacture the product, that we call as MRP. If you're considering men, material and all the other resources whichever is required to run the industry, then we call that as MRP2. So understand the difference. If you're sitting for an interview for a core company, there they will be asking you this question: what is MRP and MRP? Difference between MRP1 and MRP2. If you're really attending a core company, you will have this question in your interview: what is MRP and what is MRP2? Okay, so what is MRP1? It's only about material requirement planning. What is MRP2? It is about planning all the resources which is required to run the company as well as to manufacture the product. So that we call as MRP2. So it's simple difference. MRP1, you are going to plan only the materials. In MRP2, you are going to plan including materials, all other resources, whatever is necessary or basic things, whatever is necessary to run the company or to run the manufacturing activity, that we call as MRP2. Okay, over a period of time, after the evolution of MRP, we got something called as ERP. ERP is a software. Nowadays, it's called Enterprise Resource Planning. So, say for example, if I'm worried only about manufacturing one component, MRP. If I'm planning the activity for my unit, then it is called as MRP2. Or if I'm planning for the entire enterprise, I may have many companies or many units in my company. If I'm planning for that, that is called as ERP. Let me put it back in a way which you can understand. Say for example, we are from mechanical department. If all of us are from mechanical engineering department, if we are planning the resources what is required for our mechanical department, then we call it as MRP1. If we are planning for the entire VIT University Vellore campus, it is called as MRP2. If you are planning for all the 4 campuses put together, like Amaravati, Bhopal, Chennai, and Vellore, if you are planning for all the 4 campuses put together, then the complexity is going to be more. So to handle this complexity, what we did, we have made a ERP system. So that is called as ERP. In your case, you are also using in our day-to-day activities, we are also using MRP. Sorry, ERP. What is that ERP we are using? Can you name that ERP? Can you name that ERP? What you are using daily?
Mobile
Give
phone.
it, give it a try. Yeah.
Sir,
What is
petrol.
it? Metro. I'm not getting. Come again. Come again. Any guess? The ERP what you are using?
Mobile phone.
No. You are using VTop, right? VTop is also an ERP software, which is the VTop what we are using is a part of ERP package, which explains what are the things required for individual students. What is his from the day one he joins to the day he leaves out, on even after he leaves the organization. What is the connection, or what was his requirement, what was his grade, what is his pass percentage, what are the credits he has registered, what are the scores he has earned, like that. It keeps on recording all the details, whatever is required and whatever you are doing. So that is one best example for ERP package. Okay, so next let's move on. So what is this ERP? It's going to be a computerized inventory control. So whatever inventory is available, the data are available in a database. So it's going to be computerized based data inventory control. So how much, say for example, you can also make a MRP system. You go to your kitchen, you list all the items whichever is available in your kitchen, right? How much quantity is available in for each and every item. So okay, rice you have 10 kgs, wheat flour we have 15 kgs, sugar I have 2 kgs, oil I have 2 liters, like that. If you're able to make a list and store it in your computer, that becomes a database for your inventory in your home. Then production planning system, we call it production planning system. So what is production planning system? Okay, today is Monday. For breakfast what you need, for lunch what you need, for dinner what you need. It's just nothing but your, if you're dining in your hostel mess, in the hostel mess they would have displayed you the menu for the entire week. So that is nothing but it is going to tell you on given time what is the food that is they are going to serve you. Okay, that is there in the chart. If you enter any mess in VIT, I think they have displayed this menu card everywhere, right? So you should understand. So that is called as production planning solution. That is, they have planned to cook what is required for the students. That is called as called as production planning system, or sometimes we call as MPS, manufacturing planning. Okay, MPS, manufacturing schedule. Okay, so MPS. So this is what we call as production planning system. We understand this production planning system. So what has to be manufactured at what time. So that is called as planning production system. So when you know this, this information can be conveyed to the purchase department. So that we call as management information system. So you are going to tell on Monday, I'm going to manufacture this many number of components to the purchase department. So the purchase department duty is what? To ensure that all the raw materials available to the manufacturing will be made available on the right time at the right place in the shop floor. So when the purchase department is going to order the items to the supplier to supply X or Y components for the n number of n items that should be delivered to the company. So what they should do, they will compare that with the inventory. As I told you, what's really happening, your say for example your mother and father are involved in the activity of preparing sweets for Diwali. So I told you, you have 5 kg of you need 5 kg of sugar, your inventory is 2 kgs. So what your production planning is, what on November 1st you are going to make sweets. So that is the production schedule. How much quantity you are going to make? You are going to make 10 kg of sweet. So what your parents are going to do, they'll compare the inventory. Okay, already 2 kgs are available, so 5 kg we will buy and we will use that for manufacturing or for preparing the sweets on November 1st as per the production planning system. So that's the information transfer between the management and everything is happened. So this is called management information system in simple terms in which you could understand. Imagine in a company that of course happens in a professional manner, or we call it that the details are saved in a ERP system. So that's how they work. Then after this, after purchasing is done, they are going to get delivered, and sometimes there may be a delay in delivery, or that may not have, after delivery also it may not have reached the shop floor for manufacturing, or there may be a order escalation, or there may be a sudden huge order or reduction in order from the customer end. Okay, say for example suddenly there was a pandemic situation of corona. So what happens, we have to cut down all the manufacturing activity. So now what happens, we should also inform the supplier to stop production, or stop supplying the raw materials to the company, or the finished goods or the semi finished goods to the OEM, so that you will not have more inventory in your company, because there is no production is going to happen. So in that case, you have to cut down the supply for raw materials. The reverse may happen. After this COVID, there is going to be huge demand for many things. So that time the production activities has to be raised again. The supply has to be more. So that time there should be you should have a good relationship with your customer, between your supplier as well as the customer. So the customer demand rises, the supply has to be increased. If your customer demand decreases, the supply from your for the raw materials from your supplier should also come down. So there should be a balance. To achieve this balance, to maintain this, ERP system will also be a key player in doing this activity, in order to balance the demand and supply. Okay, so how to use this MRP? It can be used for job shop production. When it's very simple, you can use it for job shop production to manufacture any complex products, or when you have assemble to order products. Assemble to order means based upon your customer order, you will assemble the products. If you could remember, in some 5-7 years, sorry, roughly around some 10 years back, Dell company, you can't buy the products from Dell outlets. They will be only, it can be customized order. Like if you need this much of RAM, this much you need this much of hard disk space, you can customize in their website. After getting the customized order, they will be assembling it in their assembling unit, and that will be delivered. Say for example, for Tamil Nadu, they had assembling unit at Pondicherry. So we order something online, we choose the specifications, and based upon your specification requirement, they will assemble that product, and that will be delivered to the customer. Like it's more like a customized order from the customer. And there are some discrete and dependent demand items. So if something rises, you know what is dependent demand, right? So if something rises, the other product will also there will be requirement for the other product. So we should be able to predict this, and to do this, MRP system is going to help us a lot. And what it can do, it can reduce the inventory level, because as you know, if you had a touch of lean manufacturing system, in lean manufacturing we mentioned about 7 waste. In one of the main waste, what we talk about is called inventory. So if you are having inventory in your workplace, what happens? Listen to me carefully. When you have inventory in your workplace, you need to protect that inventory. To protect that inventory, you need a warehouse, you need a star security reason, you need some cameras. If that is the product is edible product, or it get or if it get damaged by some climatic conditions, if it get damaged rusted by rain or something, then you have to give some proper maintenance. You have to protect it from rats and something. Or if you have, if it's or if it is in a open environment, it may rust. So you should take some preventive measures to safeguard the product. Okay, so that's why if MRP is there, you know how to control your inventory, and when you know how to control your inventory, you can keep the inventory minimum. Okay, so when you keep the inventories and minimum, automatically you are going to reduce the storage cost and it will improve the transportation or shipping. You can help to you can so when you keep the cost down, automatically the cost of the product is also going to get down. When the cost of the product is less, you will have more customers. At the same, you will know actually when you have maintained a low inventory, you will know the actual consumption, and you will know how much you are going to produce. So you can have you can bring down the production cost, as well as you can bring down you will have a clear idea on what you are doing. And to do all these things, what you require is called as production schedule. Only the production, with the help of the production schedule, the purchase department can be able can buy the product for you. So the role of purchase department is depending upon the production schedule, which will be supplied by the shop floor in charge, and the demand. So based upon the demand, the shop floor in charge will prepare the production schedule, and based upon this production schedule, the purchase manager will plan, or he will order the products to supply. So there is a relationship between three: customer, the shop floor, and the purchase department. So to connect all these things, we are going to use MRP. And when you have a pre-planned things, automatically the lead time which is taken to or the time which is taken to fulfill an order, that is going to come down. So when you know how much you are going to consume, yeah, so when you know how much you are going to consume, you can reduce the wastages, or you can reduce the scrap. You can produce good quality components because the resource is maintained well. When you know only you have this much money left with you, what you do, you spend it cautiously, unconsciously, right? So when you know only this much material is allowed, or will be necessary to manufacture your product, you will use only that much material or energy to produce that product. So that means you can have a clear idea on how much quantity is required to manufacture each and every component of your, or a single part of your product. So that's how MRP is going to play a very key role in maintaining the inventory, in reducing the cost, having a better production schedule, reducing the material cost, and reducing the lead time, having the less waste and rework, and high quality product. So these are the advantages of having an MRP. Of course, when you have an MRP, the communication is better. The efficiency of the plant is going to high. As I told you, it is going to bring down the transportation cost, the freight cost. There will not be any excess inventory. You will not have any overtime. Like you won't give any extra time for your because the activities are already planned well ahead. There will be a reduction of time. Okay, then it will improve the supply schedules, right? That will be very good relationship between the supplier and the OEM. So this is what you are going to. So demand, when I say demand, there are two types of demand. One is called as independent demand, and another is called as dependent demand. Okay, so independent demand is what it is for the finished products. Okay, so it is not, the demand of this product will not depend upon any other things, right? So you know what is independent demand and dependent demand, which you have studied in the first module already. So you know this, right? So let's enter into the concept. So what is this MRP structure? Now you will understand the concepts whichever we discussed in the previous modules very clearly. So in the first module, what you did, you studied about forecasting, correct? In the first module, you studied about the different types of forecasting, and all your forecasting activity were dependent upon customer orders. As you could see my slide, The first you studied about forecasting. The forecasting was based upon the customer order or customer demand. Okay, so what happens now, based upon the forecast and based upon the customer order, you can like aggregate production plan is what, say for example, based upon customer is ordering 1,000 items, you'll be making a production plan for 1,000 items. So that is called aggregating. Like say for example, why this is called aggregate? From Vellore I may tell I need 10 cars. From Chennai they may tell they need 10 cars. From Delhi they may tell they need another 15 cars. From Trivandrum they may tell they need 20 cars. From Bombay they can tell some 50 cars. From Kolkata there may be demand for another 40 cars in a single day. So what they will do, they will collect all the orders from all the states or all the districts. Then they will know how much how much orders we received in a particular day. So based upon that, they will prepare the production activity. So that is why the important the forecasting is what could be the requirement. The customer order is what is the actual demand, the predicted demand and the actual demand. With that they will be combining all this, both this predicted demand and the actual demand. They will be developing the production plan. So based upon this they will be preparing the master production schedule. Okay, 10 items are required, 10 items are required. Okay, there may be a demand for 12 items, two more items. So for 12 items you can prepare the production schedule. When you have the production schedule, what happens, you can have the material requirement planning. You can do the material requirement planning. Okay, I'll give you this in another terms. Okay, I believe that most of you are staying in have stayed in the hostel for at least for the last 2 years or for the 1 year. Okay, now understand this. Imagine there is a mess in the hostel. Okay, the dining mess. So in the forecast they are predicting that okay, in this mess, say for example 500 students have registered for this mess, are going to dine in this mess. So they are forecasting that on a particular day they are forecasting that okay, today every Monday students may skip the breakfast. So they would have forecasted the demand as okay, to Monday morning students after watching IPL match last night, they had a super over match. So they will, most of the students will wake up late and okay, today morning there is a requirement for only 400 breakfast. But what happened is that since it was Monday morning, all my students were willing to attend my class. So what they did, they wake up early and they went to the dining hall to have the breakfast. So say for example 400 was predicted, but my students went 450. Say for example 450 students went to have the breakfast. So they don't know, but actually what is the plan, they would have prepared for 500 students, but they know how to manage also. So this is called aggregate production plan. What is the prediction, what is the custom, this may go 450 or it may even go to 350. Okay, now what so they are now, with that they will be preparing the production schedule, like what has to be done if 500 students are coming to the dining hall, what should be done. That production schedule is already available. So to prepare the breakfast, what are the necessary items, that is taken care of by material requirement planning. When after this they know the capacity requirement. What is this capacity requirement planning? Say for example Monday morning they are going to have bread for breakfast, which is already every day there's a common menu, right? Bread is available for Monday morning. So how much bread they should order? Okay, that's the important question. So for 500 students, what is how much is the bread they have to order? Because I don't know, because I may have 2 bread, my friend may have 5 bread, another friend may have 10 breads for breakfast. We don't know, depending upon the capacity of each and every individual, the capacity requirement planning is different. Because there may be a fellow who can consume only 2 pieces of bread, there may be another friend who can consume 10 pieces of bread. So capacity planning is what, in case of a company, how much components can be produced by a single machine, or the number of machines available. Say for example there are 10 machines, the first machine can manufacture 10 components, second machine can manufacture 50 components, third machine can manufacture 100 components. So depending upon the, because machine 1 may be or the machine A may be a old machine C may be a modern conventional machine. So depending upon the capacity of each and every individual machine or the total production capacity of the entire company or the unit, I should order the items. Say for example, I ordered only 10 item, 10 tires. I can manufacture only the plant capacity. In the plant I can manufacture 10 cars in a day, but I am ordered only 10 tires. That means I can manufacture only 2 cars a day, 5 wheels plus 1 stepney, so 2 cars a day, whereas my capacity is 10. So the company is capable of producing 10 cars, but since you order only less items, I was able to produce only 2 cars. So what happens? 8 cars will have to wait for the next day, or you have to reorder again. So this is how it works. Okay. So now what happens when you have the inventory in your hand? When your company is having inventory in your hand, what happens? You release the work order. That means already sufficient number of tires are available in my company. So you order the shop floor in charge to start the production activity, and you're going to deliver the raw material to him. So that is work order. If there's a deficient in the number of tires required, in our case of in the case study what we are discussing, if there are 10 tires are required and only 5 tires are 50 tires are required and only 20 tires are available, 30 tires is a requirement. So that time what this 20 tires which is available is inventory. So what happens? You release the order, you release the purchase order to buy 30 more tires because your requirement is 50. But in your case, if you have 50 tires in your company, you will release work order. That means you are if you have the sufficient inventory for the production activity to start, you release work order inside the company. If you are deficient of the number of components you require, or if you have deficient numbers from the requirement, you release purchase order. So purchase order you release to the supplier who is outside the company. So purchase order means outside the company, work order means inside the company. So that difference you should understand. Purchase order is released for the supplier who is outside, and work order is for the shop floor control who is inside the company. So you should understand this difference. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. You can unmute yourself and you can ask me now before we proceed further. Because only if you understand this concept, you will be able to solve big things in future. This module is very, very important for your future. Kindly unmute and you can ask your questions. Or at least post in the chat box. So what should I take it? You understood everything or nothing?
Understood, sir.
Understood. Okay, then happy. Okay, so there are 3 steps in doing this. One is, for the first step before you start doing the MRPs, you are going to identify the requirement, like what are the things you require to start the production. So you should identify the requirements. The requirements can be in any level, like from the shop floor, from the managing department, or anywhere. So you should collect all the requirements to manufacture the particular product. What are the requirements? So identify all the requirements and collect the requirements. Then get suggestions, like creating running MRP, and to get the suggestions in terms like you are going to compare it with the bill of materials to manufacture the product. You are going to get how much is the inventory, what is actually what is there and what is required. So So when you run the MRP, it will tell you, okay, already some components are available. So you better reduce the number of items you're going to purchase of the similar component. I require 50 tires, 20 tires are already available. So order only 30 tires. So that is one suggestion what MRP will give you. Then confirm the suggestions by physical verification, and then that's how. So that's how it's done. So what is required? What is already you have, that is inventory. What is the requirement? What already you have. So subtract that, then you'll know actual number of components, what actual number of items which you have to order. So that's how it works. Okay, so that's what. So the first step is identifying the requirement. So what is the quantity on hand? On hand means inventory. Then what is already left out with the, okay, let's cut this here, because I will explain you with all these things with the other things in the next class. So for you to understand better, we will discuss the other things in the next class. I'm giving you a form. You please try to fill that form for attendance purpose and for to know whether you understand or not. Often my students get confused with MRP. Even after this class, if I ask them what is MRP, they tell it is maximum retail price. They don't remember material requirement planning.